Hello everyone, welcome back to Simplify Studies. In today's module, we are going to study about democratic government. Well, India has a democratic form of government in which representatives are elected to make policies and enforce laws for the benefit of the people. In India, the right to vote is exercised by anybody and everybody who is 18 years of age or above. Now, let us understand the structure of the government in India. India is a huge country, so it would be very difficult for a single government to administrate the entire country efficiently. That is why India has a system of the government that is partly federal and partly unitary. A system of government where political authority is divided between the central and the state governments is known as a federal system of government. On the other hand, countries where power is concentrated only at central or national level have a unitary system of government. In India, the center has the power to make laws on subjects that concern the whole country, like defense and finance, while the states have the power to make laws on certain other subjects. That is why India is said to have a system of government that is partly federal and partly unitary. The governance takes place at three levels: at the central or national level, at the state level, and at the local level, where the central or the union government administers the entire country, including the union territories. And the state government administers the states, and the local government administers the villages, towns, and cities. The government in India has three different branches or organs: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Each organ performs a different set of functions. Let us start with legislature first. The legislature is the law-making body of the government. The legislature in the central government is the parliament. The parliament is composed of the president and the two houses, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Its members are called members of the parliament or MPs. The President of India is the nominal head of the Indian state. The President is elected for a period of 5 years by the members of Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, and the state legislative assemblies. Under legislature, next comes the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha, or the lower house of the parliament, is also called the House of the People, as the members of this house are elected directly by the people of the country. Then we have the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha, or the upper house of the parliament, is also known as the Council of States. Its members are elected indirectly by the members of the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies. The powers and the functions of the legislature are as follows. The Parliament of India has the power to make laws and also to amend or change them. The functioning of the executive is checked by the legislature. The Parliament of India also prepares the budget every year. Next, we have the executive at the center and the state. The executive part of the government executes the laws passed by the legislature. At the central level, the executive is composed of the President, the Prime Minister, and the Council of Ministers. After the general election, which is generally held in every 5 years, the political party that gets maximum number of seats in the Lok Sabha forms the central government. The President of India appoints the leader of that party as the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of the executive, that is the central government, and all the powers rest in his or her hand. Thus, while the President is the nominal head, the Prime Minister is the actual head of the government. The Prime Minister heads the Council of Ministers and is also involved in all important decisions of the government. Next, we have the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister is helped in the discharge of his or her functions by a specially chosen group of ministers. The Prime Minister and these ministers make up the Council of Ministers. Each minister is in charge of a particular department. For example, the Education Minister looks after the education, the Finance Minister is in charge of taxes and how the government's money will be spent, the Defense Minister is in charge of Army, Navy, and Air Force, and so on. Now, let us see the powers and the functions of the executive. The executive decides on the policies of the government and advises the legislature on the laws that needs to be made. The executive also helps and advises the president. The executive has the power to impeach the president and the judges and make amendments to the constitution. Next, we have judiciary. The judiciary is a branch of the government whose main functions are to uphold the law and protect the rights of the citizens. The judiciary in India consists of three levels: the national level, the state level, and the district level. The Supreme Court works at the national level with the Chief Justice of India as its head. It is situated in New Delhi. Now, let us understand the function of the state government in detail. The structure of the state governments is similar to that of the central government. Thus, at the state level too, the government includes three branches: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature includes the governor and the Vidhan Sabha or the legislative assembly. Some of the states also have an upper house in the legislature called the Legislative Council or the Vidhan Parishad. The state legislatures have similar powers as the parliament, for example, to make laws, to prepare the budget, and to keep a check on the executive at state level. The members of legislative assemblies, that is MLAs, are elected by the people of the state. Elections to the state legislative assemblies are held every 5 years. The party which gets the most seats is called by the governor to form the government. The leader of the party becomes the chief minister of the state. The chief minister chooses a group of people as ministers. Together they form the Council of Ministers. The executive includes the governor, the chief minister, and the council of ministers. The governor is appointed by the President of India. The governor is the nominal head of the state while the chief minister is the actual head. The governor acts on the advice of the chief minister and the ministers of the state. The union territories of India are governed by the lieutenant governor appointed by the President of India. The judiciary consists of the high courts at the state level and the district court at the district level. Now, let us understand the division of power between the central government and the state governments. The Constitution clearly spells out the distribution of legislative powers and functions between the union government and the state governments in three lists. They are the union list, the state list, and the concurrent list. The union list includes all the subjects which are of national importance like defense, finance, foreign affairs, trade, and so on. The central government makes law on these subjects. Then we have state list. It includes matters such as law and order, public health, sanitation, drainage, and so on that comes within the legislation of the states. Then we have concurrent list. Under concurrent list, we have economic and social planning, then labor, then education, and so on. Both the center and the state governments can make laws on these subjects. However, if there's a conflict between the union and the state government on any subject, the will of the union government will prevail. So that's all I have for you today. See you soon in my next session with yet another interesting topic. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Simplify Studies. In today's module, we are going to